Hello, ladies and gentlemen, Eddie Marcus here. I want to thank you so very much for giving me this your time. You know, I'm constantly coming before you because I'm constantly having a vision of people, human beings, experiencing in their lives freedom. It haunts me that you are not free. And so, in my efforts to be instrumental in bringing a brighter day, because many of you are having such wonderful days, but a brighter day, a day that includes all of us. Well, I'm constantly coming before you, even though you might not listen to what I have to say. But to me, it's important in that pursuit. I was uh, looking at some social media this morning and I saw a reference where an op ed had been taunting Miss Clinton as perhaps the savior of the Democratic Party in 2024. I guess thinking that Biden's representation would not have given him much merit, and he perhaps will, for one reason or another, not seek another term, and that the Democrats might want to install Miss Clinton as their savior. And it's amazing how these things happen. A nation where they say the people are the spokesmen of government. And then you can see people who have power to suggest to you that Miss Clinton could be the savior of the Democratic Party. Do you know what impact that could have to go out across the country saying that? That might be just what some people need to hear. But wonder why would they need to hear that when they have a vice president in office now who usually would be the first consideration for the office of president. But this is what happens. And this is why I say to you, ladies and gentlemen, I want you always to remember this, that in 2024, if Biden is not running to be president again, it will be Mrs. Harris, unless she chooses otherwise. And it will not be Clinton, Mrs. Clinton. Not that Mrs. Clinton is anything less than qualified, but she is not what is needed. Been there, did that, don't need to go back. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want to tell you this. Remember, the system that you live under must be designed to do and achieve what you say you want. Now, first of all, if you're going to have a system, one of your first things is going to be now, it is a system that governs or is a statement of the people's desire to be governed by whatever that is. And in that, it would include the number one thing, that this system would meet the needs of the people. And what would that suggest? That would suggest that the people within the system are satisfied. They are satisfied. And when there is a lack of satisfaction, it is an indication that the system is not sufficient to meet the needs that are required. What happens then? An adjustment must be made. An adjustment to take away the cancer, to take away the virus, and meet the needs. And an adjustment means fixing it so that whatever that problem is eradicated, not by putting policemen there with guns, not by passing a law that's saying this must not happen. Laws don't stop things from happening. Laws doesn't stop cancers from continuing to grow. Guns don't stop people from continuing to do the kinds of things that they do. But satisfaction, meeting the needs that draws people in the various ways that they go that might not be satisfaction to the rest, calls attention. It is a cry out. It is a plea. And when we can recognize that, now, one of the things I can say, ladies and gentlemen, I know many of you think that your systems work fine and you're satisfied with them. And I'd like to take some time to ask you if you can just imagine with me just for a moment. I want to give you a little bit of understanding about the systems in which we live. Your system specifically is not designed to meet the needs of the people. This is why the prisons are filled. This is why there's so much crime and violence. This is why there's so much poverty. There's so much crime and violence. There's so much ghettoism. There's so much sadness because the system is not sufficient. Take, if you will, your own imagination, your own experience, and do this study. All of the people in your community, how many of them do you think are satisfied with their lives? How many of them are dissatisfied? How many of them wish that something better would occur? Think about it for a moment. Now take those who you feel, the number in your mind, and include everybody else. And say that you all went to your local representatives, which might be your city council, it might be your mayor, it might be your commissioners, and you take to them these problems. Let them know that here are our failures within our community. And when I say the city, I'm speaking about every city in the United States of America. Every city in the United States of America. You go to your local representatives and say, here are our shortcomings. Here, these are places where the people are hurting. These are the places where we need to fix the problems. And they will look, they will study, and they will tell you that they do not have the means to meet those needs. That's at the local level. They will admit to you that they do not have the means to meet those needs. Every city in the United States of America, black or white or any color, they will tell you they do not have the means. Well, in those elite gated communities, they might have the means, but the rest won't. And since they won't, all of you in those various cities, go to those governors, 50 governors, all of the cities, with your failures that your city governments, your local governments can't fix. Take them to your state government and say, here we are. All of these cities in the states now, you're laying on the table the shortcomings, the failures of this system to be adequate, to be sufficient, to meet the needs. Whatever is required, it is not here. So you as leaders, we want you to know where you need to do some leading. They won't be able to lead. This is at your state level. They will tell you, well, we can do this and we can do that, but there's still going to be some suffering. There's still going to be some pain out there. We're just not able to do that. And that's because the system is not designed to do that. But anyway, let's say you still want to do that. Now, all of these cities in all of these states, now all of these states are going to the federal level. And you're going to go to your federal representatives. And you're going to lay it on the table. You're going to say, here are the shortcomings. These are the pain and sufferings of we, the people of the United States of America. We want to have these things fixed. You as leaders, we've gone to the local levels and they are unable to do it. We've gone to the state levels and they are unable to do it. Now this great government this institution, the most powerful nation on the face of the earth, we bring this to you. Here are our situation. We want you as our representatives, as the smartest people in this country when it comes down to government, as the best people from amongst us all to serve in this representation, to meet the needs of the people according to the Constitution, but even beyond that, if the Constitution fails to be sufficient. Help us. They will look at it and they will tell you, well, we can do this and we can do that, but we're going to be honest. At the end of the day, there's going to be some pain and there's going to be some suffering. And though we don't want that to happen, being honest with you, it's going to happen. And ladies and gentlemen, that is the absolute truth. That is the absolute truth. A system designed to do just that. And all of its representatives are admitting that it is designed to do just that, and there's nothing that they can do to fix it. So, what does that sound like? That sounds like bondage to me. But how do you deal with a situation like that? Well, you must want something different. You must want something better than that. And I would suggest you must want freedom. Now, when you say freedom, sure you want it for yourself, but if you only want it for yourself, do you deserve it? Do you deserve it? Well, you can't make freedom or want others to want freedom, but at least don't be a hindrance. If you want your freedom, be glad for freedom for everybody else. Do nothing to hinder it, but everything you can to promote it, if that's the desire of the people. You are always willing to be kind. So here we go, ladies and gentlemen, in this particular situation. A government designed to meet the needs of the people from its inception would say, what are those areas where we have failed? They would identify them as they've already been identified and say, well, here's what we're going to do. We're going to attack this now from the point of view that everybody, every family, every individual that would be impacted by this will be impacted in a positive way. Now, what must we do? What must we do? What must we do when it comes down to food and clothing? What must we do when it comes down to education and housing? What must we do when it comes down to health care? What must we do? What must we do? And I guarantee you, ladies and gentlemen, if you're serious about it, if you're serious about it, and you give it some thought, some deep thought, and you're serious about it, stop for a minute and say to yourselves, well, let me see now. Who's going to benefit from this? Ask yourselves, who's going to benefit? And then you answer, everybody. That's the design of the system. That's the design of the program. Everybody benefits. Now ask yourselves, now how can that be possible? How can that be feasible? How is it that we can justify that? And answer yourself, well, if everybody's going to benefit, why not everybody participate? Everybody participate to make it be what we want it to be. Wow, that sounds good. But now, what can make it better? Everybody participating. Everybody benefit, everybody participating. Now, how do we polish that up? Well, allow every participant to choose their career of participation or their area of participation. And hopefully it will be that which gives them their greatest joy in doing. Wow. Now all of a sudden, we who would benefit from the system play a part in the creating of all that we benefit from. And our participation in, we're participating in that which gives us individually our greatest joy. Wow. Sounds like there won't be any crime. Sounds like there won't be violence. Sounds like there won't be any need for policemen beating up people or even carrying guns. Sounds like there won't be a need for prisons. Sounds like freedom. I just thought I'd share that with you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you.